Hello everyone, this is Kyle at Mill Street Gardens, and today I'm talking about overwintering our shrubs in containers outside at the nursery. As you can see, it is early November at the nursery. A lot of our shrubs are going dormant, and all we're left with are these branches. And a lot of these, well, all of these are still for sale because you can plant them this time of year and they'll do fine. But I'm slowly starting to put the plants away. Look at this. This is our beauty berry. Isn't that cool? So I'm just showing you really quickly the process that we use to store some of our perennial shrubs over the winter. Ideally, I would use one of these hoops behind us over here to overwinter everything, but we have so many shrubs and perennials that I can't stick them all inside the hoop back there. So I have to prioritize the stuff that I want to put in the hoop, and then the stuff that'll be okay outside, even though it's a little risky, but it's also not really risky because I haven't really lost anything, I put outside. So good candidates for things that are good to overwinter outside are things that are super hardy. So we are in zone 6 in Clyde, New York, and this is a privet, which is hardy to zone 3. And I always leave these outside and they do perfectly fine and they come back looking beautiful the next year. A lot of native plants, like this 9-bark, it actually always looks like it's dead. Like it doesn't pass the scratch test all the time on some of these branches. For some reason, like it looks dead. I leave it outside in the winter and then it comes back looking great. Spireas I leave outside, they always do fine. Here's some more privets, I leave those outside. I left potentillas outside and they did okay. The one thing I'm not sure about are these button bushes. I don't know, I guess they would probably be okay, but I haven't experimented with these yet. So maybe I'll leave a couple of them outside to see what happens. I left these dogwoods outside last year, they did fine. The quinces over here were left outside. I've never left lilacs outside. I'll try that next year. This year I'll leave some of them outside to see if they overwinter well. And then one thing I definitely put under protection are evergreens. You do not want to leave your evergreens outside because they still have leaves on them and the wind will dry them right up. So one thing to consider is the reason why your plants might die over the winter isn't the cold hardiness so much, if it's hardy to your zone, but rather maybe they dried out or they desiccated in the wind. Alright, so what we're doing with these plants is we're just picking them up from their spot in the nursery, and some of them have rooted to the ground like that because they've been sitting here for a while and I haven't picked them up. There we go. And it's a good time to do that because it's actually dormant. So this plant probably needs to be up potted for next year. And we're just bringing them over here, in this area over here, and I'm grouping them by plants. And if you notice, I'm grouping them together like this so they insulate each other. So we got big groups of plants like that. I'm grouping them by type so they stay organized. So I got a group of dappled willows, I got some PG hydrangeas, these are my armor privets, I got some 9-barks over here. So yeah, putting the pots together, the plants will insulate each other. And if you're extra paranoid, what I've seen other nurseries do is they'll put bags of mulch around the edge, like a ring around all of them just for extra layer protection. But I haven't found the need for that, especially because all of our plants are pretty hardy here at the nursery. We don't sell anything that's marginal. One benefit I found for privets in particular is when you leave them outside during the winter, all the leaves will fall off, so then you'll get fresh growth in the spring and you won't have the old leaves sticking on to the plants while the new leaves are popping out, and it makes it look really ratty. So that is a benefit of leaving them outside, because if they're under protection, the leaves don't all fall off. So That is one thing I've noticed over the years. Same thing with roses. I wouldn't put your roses under protection until all the leaves fall off, because if they still have leaves on them when you put them in the hoop house, they'll hold on to them the whole winter, and then you'll have the leaves with the black and yellow spots on it, and then you'll have to spend time cleaning off next year. Just let mother train whistle. Just let nature clean off the leaves and then put them away after that. Here's another type of privet. So yeah, they'll hold on to these leaves. They look all icky, and then this is just some leaf spot. But then it makes the plant look diseased next spring. When if you have no leaves on it and it pushes out fresh new growth, it's gonna look wonderful. So what are some considerations for finding a spot to overwinter your shrubs outdoors? A spot with protection from wind. So I chose this spot because it's got like a fence line and a wood line right here, and it's got like a fence right here, and then the wind does usually come from this direction, but it's protected by this area over here. And then something else to think about is if you have deer and stuff, you want to protect them from deer. I've also overwintered stuff on the side of our hoop before, because as you can see, we got a wind block on this side, nice spot to overwinter shrubs and stuff, and then another wind block over here with the two hoop houses. The reason why I started overwintering some stuff over here as opposed to over here, especially the big stuff, is for when spring sales start, the plants that don't need any maintenance on it, meaning being potted up, all I have to do is take them from here and boom, put them right over here. And that makes things a heck of a lot easier. The final positive about overwintering shrubs outdoors is you don't need to take care of them in terms of watering. So if they're in the hoop house, you have to water them a couple times during the winter, whereas just leaving them outside, as long as they're protected from wind, and you're in a climate that gets rain and snow on a consistent basis, they take care of themselves for the most part. If you're a home gardener and you want to overwinter shrubs or something like a Japanese maples, you can replicate this, by finding a spot that still gets moisture but is protected from the wind, because that's the one thing that will really kill their plant, is the wind sucking the moisture out of the wood. And then, like I said in my last video about overwintering perennials and stuff, is you can always try overwintering stuff in your garage if it loses its leaves, because if it's evergreen, it will still need some light. So try put it in your garage and then watering it whenever it feels like it's starting to dry out. Alright, so if you're local, all these shrubs are still available at the nursery. I'm not putting them all away today. It's just a gradual process where I just slowly move some here and there until it's finally time to, call it quits and move them all. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions about the process of overwintering plants, feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section below. Thank you.